today's topic is about internship. I would like to introduce myself from the parameter of the internship, what I have done. Basically, I worked under the area of business development executive in digital marketing sector. So, wherein I worked under the students of NIT Surat, so that is National Institute of Technology, and the firm was a startup. It was Victronics. My duty was to analyze their LinkedIn account as a part of a digital marketing intern and to improve wise their account. And as you should know that nowadays LinkedIn is not just a platform to get internship or maybe get jobs. Now it has been transforming and going to become a path or maybe a tool where businesses are pitched and exchanged to the ideas. Throughout the entire session, we would keep it short from my side and from the strong side to exchange questions and answers, and the rest of the major part would be clearing your doubts. So stay till the end. Maximum of the session would be like the past session where your doubts are solved rather than be a one-sided communication. Okay. So as soon as we get into our graduation stage in our colleges, universities, right? The first important factor is understanding exactly what is internship, right? So whenever a student wants to get any experience, right, according to his goal, what foundation he is seeking, there are NGOs you can work with, there are internships, you can do a part-time job, you yourself can start your startup, right? So what particular is internship is you are part-time for a specific period, for maybe 2 months, 1 month, or maybe even for weeks, or it can exceed to maximum month. You are working with the firm on a temporary basis, so you are not liable to make great changes or advise them. So that is your authority limit, and you would be working under a mentor or maybe a chief whom he will assign you some work, and you need to meet up those goals. And it can be it can be paid, it can be unpaid. So that is the basic definition of internship, you can understand, right? So please do not understand that, please clarify this. If you're working with an NGO, it is under the segment of voluntary work. It can be under the sector of some additional position of responsibility that you have done, but internship has to be done under someone who is registered himself, maybe as a startup or maybe as an education institute or even big corporates, MNCs as well. So, taking my example, now I'm a BBA student. I learn about HR, we learn about marketing, we learn about finance, every sector. Now, this is all theoretical knowledge. We take any models. For example, in marketing, we understand what is market research. As the definition says, market research is something you go into the market, you take people's opinion, customer opinions, and analyze them, understand, and identify whether our product or maybe service is particularly fit or not. But what does it mean in real life? And you cannot entirely go yourself into the market and say that I am a market researcher. No. When you work under someone, when you really understand what market research is, what is the entire process, then is the real learning that begins. So until your graduations or maybe anything, if you're only learning through books, through research papers, so that is only the hard skills that you're learning. But to implement that, to understand, right, is what experience that is matters, right? We say you are trying, that would actually help you and teach you more when you work under someone, when you actually do your task. You HR, what is recruitment? We all know, but how does that process actually mean? When you do an internship, of course not you will be assigned the job to maybe hire someone, but working under someone, he or she will guide you how to do an recruitment, where to post the application of any job, what are the job specification, what are the things that a firm needs to disclose when we apply any application for job recruitment. So that are all things given in the books, but how to implement, how to work in a team, that all is what it teaches during an internship. So experience and learning those things in real hand is what an internship does for you. I would just start with an example. So when I was working in Victronics, that was the internship that I did. I was the only individual from first year. Rest all other were from second year, third year, or they were actually a part of the startup. So the number one thing you learn when you are in an internship is how to be with people and deal with them, and how you work in actual corporates, right? When you are in your classes, you learn for yourself, you give the exam for yourself, and you get those marks for yourself. But when you do an internship, right, the first ever task you understand is understanding the deadlines, right? You know your responsibilities, taking that utmost authority yourself. By the given deadline, you would report to your seniors, right? So that is what you understand, because in colleges, right, we don't have that actual sense of reporting someone, or maybe sticking to the deadlines, or actually we know. So another example is when you do an internship, right, they tell you to create your own Gmail, right? Your own email with the domain name of their institute, right? So I have an email like Apurva Patil Victronics.com, right? So start the first step takes you towards a professional world, right? We all have your emails, right? But what does the first you get your email, it starts with them. Then they will tell you that what are the resources that the corporates have, right? Then you understand, okay, this firm is providing me all these facilities, I need to understand and cope up with them. When I don't know, I need to go for this, I need to ask the senior, I'm not understanding. You need to yourself understand what are the tasks I need to do. In short, internship actually tell you and show you the mirror that how your future corporate world or how your future team designation will go, right? Because trust me, in an internship, the one of the number one thing you will learn is how to sit for long hours, right? In our colleges, we have one class, then have a break for 10 to 15 minutes, then we have another class, right? But what internship also teaches you is about resilience, right? You need to work for a fixed period of a time. You need to tell and showcase your work, that whatever you have done in an actual format, right? In internships or even ahead in corporate world, it's nothing that you only say, you need to prove, you need to have a documentation. So it completely changes you, and actually it enhances your level of capability and doing your work, taking responsibility and showcasing yourself as a good intern and important resources for the firm, right?
Absolutely. So, firstly, for me, an internship is a place where you actually get a chance to connect with professionals who are not even accessible otherwise.
Right.
So you can, as an intern, you can make a direct connection. You can go ahead and block their time and say that, hey, I want to introduce myself and learn what they're doing, get guidance. So I remember that out of 4 or 5 internships that I've done in my career, I was working in retail, and I wanted to switch into a new or a different industry. I was interested in marketing. So I worked in digital marketing. I learned about social media. I had never used those tools before, and all those experiences have landed me specifically this particular job, because bits and pieces of all those roles that I did early on in different internships have led to this particular position where I'm currently working. So well said. So this can also open the doorway to further opportunities, polish or give you new skill sets, which Apurva you gained and I also personally gained. So I could connect. So I
Yeah.
thought I'll also add my experience here. Yeah.
As you shared about the resources, right? I myself never used Slack as in software. Also, I never used Google Workspace. So when you actually start doing internship, you know that the world is too big in corporates. You never know that what softwares actually the corporates are using, right? You should know that in today's world, we might get the college messages from in the on WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is not actually a professional platform to exchange messages, right? So from there I came to know that Slack is an only, right, a software where professionals communicate, where teams are formed, and there the communication, sending messages is there. So there are a lot of, as Ashwin said, exchange of resources, exchange of skill set and networking. When I worked with the students of NIT, like National Institute of Technology from Surat, SVNIT, you come to know various perspective on a single topic, and that what it makes difference, right? So learning with them, interacting with them, and networking, right? You should be an intern who comes as an unknown person but stays there and leaves with a known ideology, right? People should remember the people you were working, the network, it should last for a long while, right?
Absolutely. And another thing which I remembered as we were talking during my internship when I was, I think only, and that was again in college, like yourself, it was when I was in my first year. Yeah, actually, it was in my first year. So I learned to address people by their first names. So this gives a lot of confidence. That also adds, builds your credibility. And it's not the same when you're in school or college. You address your seniors as sir or ma'am, and that's the culture.
Right.
But then it's a little different when you work in a corporate setting. So I think that also is another learning which you can only get when you are getting your hands
In
dirty.
as an
And
intern. So see, there are various ways. It's just that you are not finding it out. I This might sound harsh, but there are various ways. So I have noted some sites for you. Also, I have researched. I'll share. Just if possible, you can note it down, right? So one of the popular website is Internshala, and nowadays the thing is very easy. You just apply the filter section. You need to use that filter section wisely. You select the domain, you select whether you want is with stipend, without stipend. You select should be remote area, on site, or work from home. You can select the duration and lot more of things, right? So Internshala is one of the great website, I must say. Most of my friends also got their internship from Internshala. The second is LinkedIn India. Nowadays, you might see that is a very back then method where you can apply jobs and internships on LinkedIn. If you are active on LinkedIn, you just search for a quite while, maybe for 15 to 20 minutes. You scroll and trust and make networks with the HRs, right? So make sure that you send a personalized note and then follow them, or maybe send a connection request. And as soon as they get there, they are finding for internships, for interns for their corporate organization, they'll post on their LinkedIn. So I've myself seen and applied to multiple internship opportunities, be it suggesting the content writers or maybe social media managers. Now most of the people understand that content creation or maybe content writers is not a big deal, but you need to understand that content writers nowadays are earning in lakhs and lakhs. So every sector is now emerging. So the second is Indeed India, but on Indeed India, you will find most of the job opportunities, so you can keep it for a while. The next is Glassdoor India. Now this is a website that gives a rating for like which organization has done great in hiring the interns, how have they performed. So Glassdoor India is another website. The next is Let's Intern. So that is another website. And now I'll be sharing these three which are not very common. Is number one is your college seniors. You have your seniors, right? Be it if you are in first year, you have second year, third year. If you are in second year, then you need to, instead of getting into all this website, you reach out to your seniors and ask them where you have done your internship. And if you know, in second year and third year, it is very compulsory for the students to do. So I have my seniors in a batch of 200 students. So 200 students must have done their internship into 200 more institutes, corporates, organization, MNCs, right? So ask them, reach out to them, request them, did you got that internship from maybe any job role, or maybe through your networks, or maybe your dad, your father, mother is he working in that institute. So college seniors are one of the important resources for you to find the internship. Number two is get the as soon as you come to know that they have done their internship, ask for any HR person phone number or maybe email ID. If not, ask any number under whom they were actually working as an intern, right? The second is college and university cells, right? So most of the colleges have their intern, they have a separate group where only internship opportunities are sent after a while. So make sure most of the people don't come to know that there are these groups which are existing. So make sure that you in your first year itself you're quite active a bit, and you get in touch with all those communities. So there are groups where only sports competitions are released, so there are groups where only internship opportunities. And the third is your batchmates, right? So there is someone in a group, right? Your batchmates, those have a very craze to do internship for every month. So go and reach out. How did you get that, right? Can you share your number, right? Or maybe email. So because the number one part of networking is you get a resource through which you can connect, right? You say I have a LinkedIn account, maybe of 1,000 followers, but how many of you know them personally? None. So what is network is we have that ability to have that resources through whom we can connect. So it can be acceptance of a connection request on LinkedIn. You can say to the HR that I have sent you a personalized note that you actually accepted a while before, and now I am in search to get that internship, right? And the fifth is get touch in with your mom and your dad. If any of your parents are working into corporates, you can get in touch with them and then get the HR email and request them that I am an intern and I need an opportunity. So there are various ways. So as I said, I would just revise them so that if anybody has missed it, it is Internshala, LinkedIn India, Indeed, Glassdoor, Let's Intern, college and university cells, your seniors and your batchmates. So I guess this is sufficient for you to get an internship. So I actually landed up the Victronics internship from my batchmate groups. So there's an unofficial groups of only students where we actually send any messages about courses, certifications, and then any institutes, internships, all these opportunities. From there, I got that brochure and then I communicated with them, and they said schedule their interview, and there were actually 3 rounds, after which I got in and I actually started my internship in the month of May. And right now for my second year, so I would disclose it, I applied for L&T. Now how did I apply it for? I actually have, my father knows his colleague who works in L&T. So I requested them, I sent their CVs. So another thing is, don't ask your parents to communicate with their friends to refer you. Don't do that. You ask your parents that can you just send me his email or number and see why people get rejected or why people get selected is the seriousness they have towards their work. So you yourself get their number and share that I am so and so, I'm currently studying in this, I have my recent resume, I can share with them, and please I need an intern, and be specific, right? In corporates, don't give a message that I came through that message and now I am. Don't build a story. Be clear, short and crisp, right? I am searching for an internship in the month of X and X, and it is for only for this division, and send them message. Now unfortunately I came to know that in Vadodara, the L&T the which it is here, it does not take graduates, right? Only masters. So then I applied to Sun Pharma, then I also applied to Alembic. So I'm yet on the path to get those replies back. So I actually got to know about Alembic is through my friend's uncle works there. So I said share her name and surname, and from LinkedIn I sent them connection request. And then if you know that on LinkedIn, just don't send the connection request directly. Make sure you click on those 3 dots which are right beside the profile photo, and then write personalized invite, which is of almost 200 words. So within that 200 words, use ChatGPT, use AI, and tell the ChatGPT, right? Tell AI that you just draft a message that is only of 200 words, and the firm or maybe the person should get clear that you are searching for internship. And I got to know about him that they are searching for it, and then I applied it. Now the results are on the way to get back.
Wow, we really hope that you get your dream internship the way you got your first one.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for sharing the insider secrets. So, I think that you're holding that secret back, that you have to find that secret group, the hidden group within your
Right.
class group, and then be a part of those unofficial groups also. So,
I am pretty sure that every see, it's because you are not searching. Trust me, in college this is must. And I would ask you, Shrum, that am I saying this something which is a very in a flowery way? No, it is there. There are internship sales. There are various clubs that it's just that you need to research them and find them out.
So I want to share this very quick example. So I was when I was pursuing my masters, my MBA, and there was this networking event which was happening. So many students who were in the first year, they decided, okay, internship season is far away. Why should we go? But then during that networking event, I met one of our college seniors who was working for this top company in a brand management role at this company called SLR. And both of us connected very well because of the common interests we had. And then when the actual company opening came, because we had that connection, she was the hiring manager. And she naturally remembered me. And then the connection we had established, and my application was picked up in the during the interview for the interview. And then it was my efforts in terms of cracking that interview. So I ended up landing that particular internship offer. So I think internship is a holistic effort and not just one way thing. And you have to try everything possible. And there's one thing that I would advise, and you can probably correct if I'm saying it not correctly. But then we should really avoid putting in those bulk applications to thousands of applications.
Applications, right? Starting, there would be three things, right? Number one, they would be asking a lot more about your graduation subjects, right? Because as you don't have any experience, right, you are doing internship to get an experience, but before doing internship you don't have any experience, right? So what the subject of matter they would be asking you is about your graduation subjects, your 11th and 12th, or maybe extra co-curriculum. So beforehand, right, even thinking about internship, understand this very important thing is your college durations, and those months are very important. So you start interacting yourself and start indulging yourself into many extra co-curriculum activities, right, so that they can pick those questions. Now interviews, be prepared with the basic questions that they are going to ask, right? So I don't know about jobs, I gave actually many interviews for internships. So explain about your subjects. What subjects do you like? Why do you like them? Explain about maybe what is your objective to do an internship, right? Another is tell me about yourself. What is your long term goal? What is your short term goal? What are your hobbies, right? Why do you do that hobby? So one of my interview question was, ma'am said that what is your hobby? So I said reading books. So she said, do you actually read them because the corporate demands it? So I said, I gave the real reason, because nowadays everyone puts I'm a good communicator. Everyone says I have leadership qualities. I love reading books because so they are demanding. But if you are actually doing any hobby, be honest with it so that you can explain, right? So right now I am doing a professional communication course. So over them, ma'am also said that she exaggerated that her hobby is to do sketching. And right at that moment she said the interview gave her a pen and paper and say that draw a sketch of me. So don't, be honest. Trust me, your interview will go as smooth as butter. So be honest, right? Whatever you are doing, in whatever you have mentioned in in your resume, be clear about that, right? And make sure that you stand out yourself, right? There are hundreds, or maybe hundreds is a correct word. There are hundreds of interns that are on a line to get that internship. But understand, you will have some point of the other. Maybe some may have their good academics as a standout point, or some may have sports as a parameter to reflect themselves as a different individual, right? Some may have good communication skills. So find out that what is very precious to you, and what makes you stand out from different, and that is what you need to sell yourself, right? You need to identify what I am and what makes me different from my friends, from other interns who have applied for this internship, and start practicing yourself with the language you would be saying, that is in English, right? Start reading and be aware of the current affairs and know about the firm. So one of the two three basic questions is, why do you want to do internship at our organization? What do you know about our organization, right? Do you know what roles you will be doing? So do and beforehand research, right? So I would request everyone to note down these questions, because before interviews it seems everything tough, and during the interviews the tough level increases. So make sure that you know these basic questions beforehand. One of the horrifying question that was asked by my during my interview was, will you do the internship unpaid? So before, I was quite for seconds like, what should I apply, because what should I say? Unpaid. Then I said that, sir, the basic purpose for me to do an internship was to gain an experience and start with the right, with the kickstart a corporate journey. Now coming to the another section, that is stipend. I said and explained them that why stipend is necessary or unnecessary. I said them that stipend is something that is given by the organization to you for the results you do, for the work, for the time, for the efforts that you put as an intern to the organization. So I said that as a beginner level, I won't be putting the first value, right? The only thing is, I'm doing internship for something that I'm learning, and a good amount which actually covers all the expenses that I like incur during doing the internship, and something that is a surplus for my efforts, right? So in internship everything is written in bracket that according to your experience, according to your responsibilities, your stipend will be decided. And that's how I actually summed up the question and went ahead, because these are the unexpected questions you get. Now I'm explaining you, but during that point of time I myself was unprepared for that questions. So I should have been able to prepare this, because stipend, discussing about stipend is very basic in internship. So make sure that you prepare for the basic questions at least. So that would be for the best you can do for your interviews. So if you are a student after 12th, anytime you get free, do internships. I would be very honest, because I would say that when I was during my first year, I did my internship, and during the break lunch period when we used to have our lunch together, my seniors used to say this, like, I hope the audience doesn't mind if I say this in Hindi. They said that तू क्यों करी ये फर्स्ट ईयर में, हमने तो नहीं किया था, और ये सब सेकेंड ईयर में कंपलसरी होता है तभी करते हैं. सो बेसिकली दे सेड दैट don't do, why are you doing in your first year, it is not compulsory. But what's wrong if you do something on additional experience, right? What's wrong? You are getting paid, you are learning, you have that additional experience, because you never know, in future there might be a preference from the recruiters after your graduation that she has done more internships, is equals to she has a better slight age. So after 12th you get those 3-4 months which are free, right? So I again did an internship as a tutor. So I was a teacher. I used to teach for the students of class 8th, 9th and 10th. Over there I would be very honest, I earned 5,000 for a month. And what was the time duration? Only 2 hours, right? Only 2 hours, one during the whole week. That's it. You are teaching the students of the topics you know only for one day. Like one day you go only for 2 hours. So that is bare minimum you can. 2 hours is nothing, and I actually earned 5,000, right? So again I did that internship in the first year, do some live projects. So not internship, but if you're thinking that internship are very much demanding, but do something that is equal to it, corporate projects, live projects, or maybe research paper. If you have a doubt on the internships, right? It should not be the case that you're doing internship one after the other, right? They should have a value in the market, right? So it's better that you search internships, right, apply them beforehand. And anytime you get, right, the best time I would suggest is during the long breaks that you get, right? So in the first winter break and the summer break of your first year, as well as that for the second and the third year. So on an average, you minimum I would say 3 internships are required, right? One in the first, second, and the third, and maximum I would say is 2 4 6 internship that I would suggest from my parent. Because if then again you are doing your preparing for your competitive exams or maybe any other exams, then it would be a no situation or 50-50 situation. So better you do internships minimum 3 and maximum you can go for 6, right? So that is the internship when to do. First year I would say you should go for a first. So that is one of the myth that people say, that I'm in the first year and should I do the internship? Why not? I have done it, so I would definitely suggest everyone to do that.
So how do you really manage the time?
You have to manage it anyhow, because see, if you're doing internship, it is you're doing something additional, right? And it has a value, right? In corporates, in colleges, it has a value. And one thing that has value, it will be demanding a lot more efforts from your side. So I would be telling my scenario right now. I leave my house 7:30 in the morning and reach at 8. So right now I'm doing professional courses, and then the competitive, preparing for competitive exam, and then I'm having my college lecture. So total in over the 24 hours, 12 hours I'm out of my house doing something or the other, right? So during my internship as well, right, there are timings. Maybe during the semester it's quite difficult to do, because if the attendance criteria in your colleges is very strict, then it might be a big worry for you to do that internship, because you need to be present at both the sides, right? So maybe you can do a work from home internship where maybe the work can be done from you at any hours, or maybe you can do it after the after hours, maybe from 3 to 7 or 3 to 8. And about managing things, so audience, you need to understand this is how the corporate is going to work, and we need to deal with that. So that's how internship actually tell you, as in the first itself, right? First minute itself, when Shrum asked me about what is internship, so wherein you understand how to do tedious tasks for long working hours. Now you might be thinking this like it could be managing tasks, but what our fathers do, what our mothers do, they do the same thing, and they have been doing for years and years. They leave our house 8 in the morning, and they return back at the 7. And same, you just need to switch. You need to divide that 12 hours into maybe you're attending your college lectures, and maybe the other side would be internship. And if your attendance criteria is not very strict, then it's a must do, right? So miss any lectures, and that might be a good suggestion from my side. And if attendance is quite strict, so make sure that you fulfill your attendance in the before weeks and months itself, and the rest you might miss some class. And maybe, so you need to understand what is your preferences, right? What are your preferences of the timings of the colleges, maybe, or you are doing internship any organization, and be clear to the supervisor of where you are going to do an internship. If you are stating that I'll be reaching the office at 3, so make sure that you reach your office at 3. You would might say I would reach at 7, or maybe you may delay it to 4 5. Don't do that. Be Hence I said again, right, read the document that they give you after you get selected, so that you are clear and your demands are met by yourself first and then by the organization, right? So I guess this answer might be sufficient.
Purva, since you talked about Internshala, we have Pavitra asking that Internshala some way says that the app may have frauds. Is that true? So how do we find out the frauds are there or not?
Absolutely. I would actually thank him to put this this question, because it is very much important. I would again thank him, because during the entire session, even I actually forgot to mention about it. So see, number one thing is, hence because of this I said that do internship in good reputed firms. So if you are going to do an internship that is offline, then the question is completely is not there, right? Because if there is an internship that you will be doing offline, you can find about the organization, you can research about the recruiters, you can learn from LinkedIn that whether they are authentic, whether they are verified. Or the best way is find whosoever has published about the internship, find those people on LinkedIn. If you see that they are active, they are on LinkedIn, or maybe their post or previous post and comments are neutral or maybe good about the experience, then that's well and good, you can go. Right about the scams, that is why I said that networking is very important. So I would not quote the firm. I applied for their internship, right? I was not knowing that whether they are actually genuine or fraud. I applied, and then I got a call. They took my interview and they said that okay, you'll be joining the internship from tomorrow. And immediately, like, they had the conversation tonight, and tomorrow they gave me the confirmation. So there are some blunders that these fake agencies do, right? Because any corporates won't take anyone immediately, right? So find out these blunders, ask to people, right? Know whether this is a company registered somewhere, maybe find them on LinkedIn, YouTube, or yeah. So those one of the important resources is, find, if you think that this internship or this organization is somewhere fake, go on YouTube and search them. And if these rather than the famous internships that genuine organization provides, the famous ones are the ones who are very fake. So immediately from YouTube you can come to know that they either ask for bank details or something like that. So be assured and do that documentation very thoroughly. And if they ask something which is quite mysterious for you, right, and you feel, you get an instinct, right? Or maybe other thing is, if you don't find any of these questions answered, then that internship is actually fraud. And make sure that all the legal thing, right, if you are an intern of any organization, they'll definitely ask bank accounts to transfer the stipend. So before doing this, make sure that the entire research is done by you very well in advance.
Wow. And I would say always look out for the signs wherein there is some, I would say, errors in the job description, or if you find that somebody is asking money, or if the offer is too lucrative. Let's
Right.
say if the standard is 20,000 for stipend, but they offer you 80 or 50 or something, which is not normal. So be alert and do more research and verification.